When an athlete wins so much for so long, folks always take such a strong stance. Those who watch him and those who compete against him, they either really love him or really despise him. But when the level of greatness achieved becomes so historic, so undeniable, it no longer matters where we stand. It only matters where he stands. And that's in a very exclusive place. Not just among the greatest ever, but perhaps the greatest ever.
NASCAR Now is presented by AutoZone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to NASCAR Now. Mike Massaro here. Happy to be joined today by Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace and, of course, the 1995 Rookie of the Year, Ricky Craven. And the 2013 season is now in the books. And once again, Jimmie Johnson is the champ.
And I tell you what, everywhere I've been today, Mike, that's all they're talking about, Jimmie's sixth.
You know, guys, I think we're witnessing a driver, team, crew chief destined to rewrite history, you know, as it relates to championships.
And it's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
Let's see how we got it done on Sunday, shall we? From the very beginning, it was obvious that Jimmie had a strong race car and was not going to hold back, Rusty.
Yeah, he had a strong car, just like you said, Mike. It wasn't the strongest, but it was strong enough. He really stalked the number 20 car, Matt Kenseth, all throughout the event.
Not conservative at all, but had one little problem.
We got it, brother. It wasn't on, if that's what you're saying. Yes, he was. He was using it. Yes, 10-4. I'm on the other side of it. I couldn't see it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sure it was on.
Yeah, had a bit of a difficult time getting into his pit box. Couldn't see his pit sign because you saw the sun glare. Pretty intense there, but lap 194, that's where things really got interesting, Ricky.
You're talking intense. Watch this. Gets bottled up in front of Jimmie, gets cross-stopped, could have been a wreck.
Get my left front fender, please. You're good, man. You're good.
But he survived it.
He did survive it, but Rusty, man, I remember watching this with you in the pit studio, and we were on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, it really was, Mike. I mean, you saw Gordon light the tires up, and when he got his left front tire, or fender, in the right rear quarter panel, the guy was racing, the number 20 of Matt Kenseth. And I was really worried because that tire was rubbing, and if that tire blew out, there might not be a sixth championship right now.
Yeah, as you can see, a little bit of anguish on Chad Knaus's face as well. He was experiencing some anxiety, but in the end, it all turned out okay. Jimmie Johnson celebrating the championship again.
They're just so dominant, you know, and I've said this in the last 4 or 5 of them that he's won, that I just, you know, they're just the best, you know. So, you know, I've said all the way through this, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And, you know, I couldn't beat the man. We tried, but I couldn't.
They're unbelievable, and they proved it again this year, just how good they are as a group, as a team. And Jimmie as a driver, Chad as a crew chief, the whole group, you know, they just have a chemistry and a way to make incredible things happen, especially at the right times. And, you know, that's unbelievable. 6 championships. You know, happy for Rick. Congratulations to him. Happy for Jimmie and Chad and that whole 48 team.
Unfortunately, we're racing during the Jimmie Johnson era. I mean, we're just unlucky in that sense. And I think that, you know, being out there and racing with him, I can say that I think he's the best that there ever was. I think you know, he's racing against competition that is tougher than the sport's ever seen. So, you know, the guy's just good. And so you just need some bad luck here and there. I mean, the championships that he didn't win, it's because he had some bad luck here and there, or you know, maybe they beat themselves or something like that. But here lately, it just hasn't happened that way.
I'm going to tell you now, I won't be surprised if he wins 10 championships. So when he wins 10 and you come and ask me, I'm going to say, man, didn't I already tell you? I was not surprised when you asked me when he wins 10. Man, you really surprised he won 10? I told you now that I'm not. So it's kind of like a good rock band, man. You know, if they can keep pumping out records, can't do no wrong.
Solid gold hits. That's what Jimmie Johnson has had since his rookie season in 2002. He has 66 wins. That's 30 more than any other driver since 2002. He's also led more than 5,000 more laps than any other driver during that time. And perhaps most impressively, he's won half of the championships in those 12 years. With that, we welcome the champ to the show today. He's already in New York City. Jimmie, congratulations on the championship once again. I'm curious, though, after a two-year hiatus, and you watched two other drivers celebrate the championship after you had already won it 5 consecutive years, how much did that fire you up and perhaps motivate you to get back to the championship table?
Yeah, I mean, there is an aspect of that. I mean, but more importantly, I think the years of the mistakes made, especially in 2012, last year, late in the chase, what we did wrong inspired me more than watching others enjoy their moment. You know, I genuinely was happy and proud of Tony and of Brad, 2 amazing competitors, did a fantastic job and won. You know, when I look back on those years with their mistakes that I made, that we made as a team, that inspired me and fueled my fire to be better and to make sure that we had 10 great races in this chase. You know, last year we had 8 great races, and that's not going to win the championship. You've got to have 10 now, and we got it done.
Jimmie, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for finally looking tired. I've been telling the world for 10 years that I've never seen you tired. Okay? And so thank you for finally looking tired.
I'm shot.
So I've had fun all morning crunching the numbers. Richard Petty was 42 when he got his 7th. Dale Earnhardt was 43 when he got his 7th. You're 38. The next 4 or 5 years could be your best, or at least very productive. How long can you go at this terminal velocity? With this level of focus, with this level of training, with this level of commitment, how many more years can you operate at this level?
I don't know. I feel like I'm really in a sweet spot and things are balanced well. You know, there's a lot of surrounding influences that play into that. You know, family life, the shop, the team, Chad, and what he can tolerate and stand. As everybody knows, team members, especially crew chiefs, live in dog years. So right. I feel like I have a large window still ahead of myself to be focused in this zone. I don't know about Chad's lifespan. I mean, he's taking a beating, but I know that we've got at least 5 more good ones in us, if not more.
Jimmie, yesterday after the restart, with 74 laps to go, and your left front fender got all bent in, that was the point that I thought maybe the championship was gone, that it was going to go away, because I don't know if you're aware or not, that left front tire was smoking really bad. And I noticed that you kind of got at the throttle, you were kind of just taking it easy in that car, because I felt as though if you bombed that car down in the corner, that tire for wall was going to flex over into that fender, blow that tire out. And I got to tell you, it looked to me like you were really nursing that car at that point. Were you aware at that point how bad that tire was hitting?
No, and when I came by the front stretch, Chad, you know, the guys had binoculars out and looking at it, and he told me things looked fine, but as you know, Rusty, being a driver, you don't believe what the crew chiefs say all the time, so I had plenty of fear and worry that something was wrong and off, but I couldn't see the smoke or smell it, so I was concerned, but, you know, took a deep breath and just made sure I could get the car to the next pit stop. 20 car wasn't up front leading the race and winning at that time. You know, he was caught up in that mess too. So it kind of helped me relax a little bit and just get to the next pit stop.
Jimmie, the discussion now, of course, turns to number 7. As you know, this is a hallowed number in this sport. And while there have been comparisons between you and Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt over the last year or two, the record books, in this case, if you were to get number 7, would actually reflect that. What would that mean to you?
It should mean so much. You know, it's hard to think about or really talk about because I'm I'm still trying to compete and get there, and the possibility of a 7th is in front of me, but it's such a big thing. I don't want to take it for granted or take it lightly. So we'll show up next year. We'll do all that we can, and hopefully we can get a 7th out there and join the 2 legends of our sport. But I'm really going to try hard, honestly, this offseason to enjoy the 6th, because I know from here on out, the 7th is going to be the question, and if we were ever so lucky to get it, then it's can you get 8? You know, we've kind of set the bar high for ourselves here, and I'm going to have to answer these types of questions for the rest of my career.
Yep.
So I'm going to ignore it all and just enjoy the 6th right now and show up in January ready to work and ready to get it done.
I'm sure I'm going to ask you about it again in February, so be ready. I want you to
Right.
I want you to nurse that voice of yours, because as I understand it, you'll be taking one of our seats here in Bristol tomorrow as the host of SportsCenter. Is that correct?
Yes, I am scared to death of this opportunity, so we'll see how it goes. And last night was with the guys, and we were singing "We Are the Champions" as loud as we could, and I think I lost my voice in the process.
All right. Lots of water, champ. Lots of water.
Well, Jimmy, congratulations, buddy.
Yes.
I mean, what a great champion, and yeah, you need a lot of that right now. But great run yesterday, buddy.
Really proud of you, Jimmy.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, it's been an honor watching
so much.
perform. Congratulations.
You got it, guys. See you soon.
Still to come on this championship edition of NASCAR Now. 6. Imagine that. 6 championships. We try to put that staggering number in perspective. Lost in the excitement of the championship, though, was Denny Hamlin extending a streak of his own. We'll recap the other storylines from Homestead. And Matt Kenseth and Kevin Harvick gave it their best shot, but in the end, they couldn't match the 48. We'll hear from the runners-up next.
Hello, Cuervo. I have a sensitive side. Just don't have any regrets. Cuervo, I have a story.
Introducing the new Sriracha Steak Melt and new Sriracha Chicken Melt, only at Subway.
Sriracha, now that's got the kick.
It's our boldest flavor yet, made with spicy chili peppers.
I hear you get a good kick too.
Subway, be bold, eat fresh.
My dream is to be a big leaguer. For me, there is no off season. This is my one and only shot. Everybody's working hard, and I need to work harder than them.
Wall Lithium Ion gives you the power to look and be your best, because in life, every day is game day.
You've reached the age where you learned a thing or two. This is the age of knowing what you're made of. So why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. 20 million men already have. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
See you in the morning, my friend. Bright and early.
Next Monday, 2 of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the league. This kid can play. Light it up in primetime. Nobody can stop us. Yeah! Monday Night Football, 49ers, Redskins, next Monday, 8:25 Eastern on ESPN.
NASCAR Now is presented by AutoZone. For proven stopping power, get Duralast, the official brakes of NASCAR, sold only at AutoZone.
Matt Kenseth was one of 2 drivers who had a shot at derailing Jimmie Johnson on Sunday, and he gave it one heck of a run, Russ.
Mike, I tell you what, this car ran flawless all day long. There was one point in the race where the tires got him behind a little bit, but the rest of the day, game on.
Yeah, he was involved in that dicey moment on lap 194, was able to escape, however, pretty much unscathed. He led a race-high 144 laps. to finish second on the day, but in the end, it just wasn't good enough for him to capture the title. Still, he had a positive outlook afterwards.
Yeah, what a year and what a night. I mean, we were so dominant early, and we'd go up through traffic pretty good, and, you know, we got off there a little bit at the end, and I was kind of reluctant to get where I needed to in 3 and 4 and get the right lane, and didn't find it until about 5 or 6 to go, and Denny was just gone by then. So, yeah, it's hard to describe this season. I mean, how could it really be any better? I mean, yeah, we came up short of the championship, but gosh, we sure led a lot of laps, dominated a lot of races. We're fortunate enough to win a few of them that we did dominate, and you know, came up short in the points, but overall, you know, it was a spectacular year.
Kevin Harvick came into the afternoon, third in the standings, 34 points back, and had a mathematical shot at coming away with the championship. But, Ricky, he just didn't have the car he needed.
No, he didn't, Mike. The objective was clear. Get to the front, lead laps, try to put pressure on Matt Kenseth and Jimmie Johnson. He led 3 times, but didn't have any sustainability.
Yeah, had a very tight race car throughout most of the afternoon, was able to manage a top 10 finish. Ended up third on the season, his final season with Richard Childress Racing.
Yeah, we just weren't very good. Just couldn't turn like we needed to, and we had one set of tires that I don't know what was wrong with, but just like always, these guys on our Budweiser Chevy kept after it, and we were able to salvage something out of the night. And obviously, it's not what we wanted, but came back and we're way better at the end than what we were at the beginning. So it's what we've done all year, and you know, I'm just proud of everybody and thank them for everything that they've done.
All right, let's discuss these two guys, beginning with Kevin Harvick. He'll move from Richard Childress Racing over to Stewart-Haas next year. What do you expect that transition will be like?
I think it's going to be tough. It's not going to be smooth at all because Tony Stewart's been out of the car. No doubt he's been the lead driver over there. Hasn't had a lot of input because he hasn't been driving. So Kevin, he's going to be the guy. He's going to have to get out there real quick and try to establish what they need.
Interesting, isn't it, Rusty, that it's very similar to what Matt Kenseth did last year. He's only known one home. That's Richard Childress Racing, like Matt Kenseth only knew Roush Fenway Racing. The potential exists to have a Matt Kenseth-type 2013 season, but Kevin Harvick does have some work to do. And the reason why is because when Mark Martin got in that 14 car and he didn't light him up the way we all expected, it suggested there's something missing over there, and they better find it during the offseason.
You know, let's talk about Kenseth. A career year, no question about it, but where do they go from here?
They're just going to go straight up. They ended the year at such a high note, Michael. 7 wins, second place in the point standings when it was all said and done, led the most laps at Homestead. The guy looked fantastic this year. They just need to go back, rub on some of the things, and don't forget, NASCAR's got some big rule changes coming next year. That's going to affect everybody. They're going to have to keep up with that also.
They set the bar pretty high. You know, first year together, Jason Radcliffe, who we all have very high regard for, they'll get better. They might not win more races. They'll be more consistent. Matt Kenseth qualified this year like I've never seen Matt qualify. I mean, it was single-digit qualifying. They were championship contenders throughout the year. I called Matt this morning to congratulate him because the one shame in all this is that the champion gets celebrated and the rest of them kind of move on. And Matt needed to be congratulated because it was an awesome year.
Yeah, he deserved that for sure. A rebirth of sorts for Matt Kenseth's career. Still to come, putting 6 in perspective. Not an easy thing to do. That's why we have Rusty and Ricky here with us today to help define Jimmie Johnson's place in history. And oh yeah, by the way, there was a race winner too at Homestead. Hear from Denny Hamlin, who ended a challenging season in style.
Have a Cuervo. Have a souvenir. Just don't have any regrets. Cuervo. Have a story.
Everything you do on the new Sprint network is important. Today, we honor Jenna's Facebook activity.
Stephanie has sent you a friend request.
You and Stephanie are now friends.
Hannah has sent you a friend request.
You and Hannah are now friends.
Greg has sent you a friend request.
In honor of all the important things you do on our network, Sprint brings you 1UP. Upgrade to a new phone every year and get unlimited talk, text, and data guaranteed for life. Now only $65 a month.
George makes his move on LeBron, blows right by him, and he's down!
We should be holding the trophy. I would love to be holding the finals MVP.
Indiana puts the best record in the East on the line. Then,
it's me and Dwight's team. We've both been to the finals, so we know what it takes.
Houston has the talent to contend, but can they make the chemistry click?
We want to win. It starts and finishes with me and him.
The NBA on ESPN. Pacers Knicks at 7 Eastern. Rockets Mavs at 9:30. Presented by State Farm. Wednesday.
A conference championship and a BCS bid are on the line.
So you guys have DSL? Mm-hmm. At our house, it's lightning internet, bright house.
See, when it's done buffering, this llama is going to do something so funny.
If you are in a good marriage, that's a wonderful thing. Take a moment and appreciate your life companion. But if you have to go through a divorce, you don't have to do it alone. We'll represent you aggressively when necessary in a cost-effective manner. We know what you're going through, and we'll be by your side to get you through this.
For a free consultation, visit LegalBrains.com or call 863-232.
Denny Hamlin, your winner at Homestead Miami Speedway.
You hate to say you give up, but you kind of conceded to the fact that we probably weren't going to keep the streak alive of a win every year. And as bad as the year is, we can at least take a little solace in this finish. I feel like there's no reason why we can't shoot out of the gates in 14 like we did in 2010 after winning here in 2009.
A big win for Denny Hamlin indeed. He's now won in 8 consecutive seasons. Some other notes, Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished 3rd, his 22nd top 10 this season. That's a career high. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. clinched Rookie of the Year. So, guys, some takeaways from Sunday at the Homestead Miami Speedway. First, let's talk about Denny Hamlin. How important do you think it was for him to end the season with something positive?
Mike, I think it was a big move on his part. He had to do it. He was beat up. He was black and blue. He was down. He didn't know if he was going to be able to compete at the high level. We all thought that he was hurt still, and he really proved a lot of people wrong. And the way he did it, dominating at the very end of the race, was very important. He didn't luck up. He just drove away from these guys, Ricky.
Yes, he did. You're right, Rusty. And I think what it profiles is that every driver has something to compete for late in the race, even if they're not in the chase. So you look at Denny Hamlin as an example. He had won in every single season, full season he had been in Cup, 7. This year, he went to the 11th hour to win a race to keep that string alive. I reached out to him after the race, and he sent a note back saying, "I am happy." I think he proved how mentally tough he is, Rusty. You've been hurt. I've been hurt in a race car. It's very disruptive to a season.
Well, at the beginning of the year, he said he was fine. The crew was telling him he's fine. Then all of a sudden, he wasn't running.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, he popped back up and said, maybe I'm not fine. Yeah. So it was very confusing what was going on this year with him.
Something else, another story that came out of yesterday, it was the final start for Mark Martin in the Sprint Cup Series. What was it like knowing that that was the last time you were going to watch him race on that stage?
Well, I went, really? I mean, him and I retired in 2005, and he decided to run 8 more years. Remember, we retired together. So, I mean, he's had a great run. He's a good ambassador for the sport. He's going to help a lot of teams. I was disappointed for him that he finished 19th. I really thought that Tony Stewart car would be better than it is. Mm-hmm. I think that team's got a lot of work to do because Mark Martin sure knows how to drive it.
Mark Martin is arguably the most respected driver in the garage area. Not because he won more championships or more races. He won a lot of races. He is lightning fast. He seldom, if ever, spent out by himself, but because of the way he went about his business. Those who competed against him appreciate him as much, if not more, than any athlete can appreciate another athlete.
Yeah, I think we're all proud to say that we were able to watch him race in what will soon to be recognized as a Hall of Fame career. Don't go away, folks. When we return, 5-time developed a 6-pack. We'll talk about the significance.
NASCAR Now is presented by AutoZone. For proven stopping power, get Duralast, the official brakes of NASCAR, sold only at AutoZone.
See you in the morning, my friend. Bright and early.
My dream is to be a big leaguer. For me, there is no off season. This is my one and only shot. Everybody's working hard, and I need to work harder than them.
Wall Lithium-Ion gives you the power to look and be your best. Because in life, every day is game day.
From sun up to sundown, look all around. Values abound at Subway. Come on down, take a look around. Values abound at Subway.
Some people say, why are you joining Match? Meeting guys isn't the problem. I'm trying to meet the right guy. Match definitely puts you in control. You can date how you want, who you want, when you want to, and it just makes sense.
Match.com, #1 in dates, relationships, and marriages. Start for free today.
Hello, Cuervo. I have a sensitive side. Just don't have any regrets. Cuervo, I have a story.
The problem with taking out student loans is you've got to pay them back. What happens when you run out of money? Are your student loans past due? Are they even in default? Are your wages being garnished? Are you getting collection calls? We can stop all those bad things from happening to you and reduce your student loan payments to as little as $25 a month. Call right now and learn how you can solve your student loan problems.
Turn 4 is brought to you by AutoZone. For proven stopping power, get Duralast, the official brakes of NASCAR, sold only at AutoZone.
The Homestead Miami Speedway has seemingly become Jimmie Johnson's personal party palace. Once again, he was the driver celebrating the championship there Sunday. And with the title, Johnson took a step closer to racing immortality, as 5-time is now 6-time.
What is the significance of 6? Is 6 the number that finally transforms the already great into a living legend? 6 banners in the rafters, 6 trophies in the cabinet, 6 rings on your fingers. The one that puts you well past one for the thumb and moves on to a whole other hand. 6, like Kuzi, like Kareem, like Mike. 1, that might be a fluke. Repeat? 3-peat? That could have nearly been a hot streak. 4 and 5, winners for sure, but 6 is damn near immortal. A number reached by only 2 racers before. One a NASCAR king, the other a NASCAR god. For them, 6 was not the end, nor will it be now. For any truly great athlete, 6 is merely a stopover, a step on the climb to something bigger. How big? Who knows? That number, it only makes them hungrier. And that might just be the true significance of 6.
Time now for our final Turn 4 questions of the year presented by AutoZone. Rusty, put it in perspective. What does number 6 mean?
Well, Mike, number 4 was history for him. Number 5 was history. We talk about number 6 being history, but to me, it was just a stepping stone to get to number 7, guys. And number 7 is going to tie in with 2 of the greatest drivers in the history of the sport, Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. But number 8, that'll be the one that'll put him as the guy with the most championships ever in the history of NASCAR. That's the one I'm looking at.
Rusty talks about number 7, perhaps number 8. How many do you think he can get?
I think Jimmie Johnson gets 8 championships. And there's 2 parts to the equation. First off, to get to 8, he needs to maintain the level of excellence, the commitment, the focus, the determination that we've seen in what we witnessed here in this 2013 season. The other part of the equation, what could interrupt it or what would allow him to win 8 or more, is who's going to challenge him, okay? So I say Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch have the talent, the car control. Who's got the work ethic? Is it Brad Keselowski? Does he have the work ethic? Does Jeff Gordon still have some gas in the tank? There's 2 parts of the equation. The 48 team controls one, and the competition controls the other.
How many do you think he'll get? You talk about 7 and 8.
I actually agree with Ricky. I think 8 is going to be the one. That's going to be the one that's going to make him the greatest driver ever, the guy with the most championships. After that, it's just numbers. It really is. Yeah. And his age is going to be in an area where he probably won't want to do it any longer after that.
Well, I think, my personal opinion, it's been amazing to watch.
Hasn't it?
It has been. It really has.
has.
It's amazing. We heard Dale Earnhardt Jr. say he's going to win 10. Who knows? The guy's so gifted, it's incredible.
You know what? You can't count it out at this point. I
can't.
mean, he is just rolling. Well, that wraps it up for us here on NASCAR Now. Not only for tonight, but for the season. It's been a great run, not only for us, but for Jimmie Johnson. Look at the hardware he's surrounded by. That does it, folks. We'll see you in Daytona, just 96 days away.